Shared Spliff podcast.
Hey everybody, this is Cecil Queef telling y'all to check out YouTube channel Phobophobia Productions. They got movies, short filmers, webisodes, videos, all for fee, horror, comedy, they scratch your itch, spelled with a PH. That's YouTube channel Phobophobia Productions. Check it.
What did you say about Miley Cyrus the other day?
That no matter whether you love her or hate her, you still know her name. She still has you. You know?
I can't believe I'm going to resort to such a cliched rejoinder, but Hitler. We all know who Hitler is.
Yeah.
I'm not saying Miley Cyrus is way better on the tone scale than Hitler.
Yeah.
But but the knowing the name, whatever.
Fuck.
John Bobbitt, fuck it. But what's up, Oscar?
It's just I've been really working on a lot of shit on my own, and I've been trying to get basically I got fired from my job unlawfully.
Well, your boss is crooked, and he tried to make it look like hey. Whatever.
Yeah,
that's not an accurate. Yeah. It's way more convoluted than that.
It's a big.
Your boss is crazy crooked like a mobster.
Yeah, it's a big pile of shit, and we'll get to that in another moment. But right now, basically, I'm trying to basically get work, and I'm not trying to work retail anymore. So I'm trying to be AD, PA, makeup, effects, whatever. And I was trying to hit up our sound lady, Carlene, and her name is right under another person named Catherine that I used to work with for an after-school program, and I literally fucking sent the text that I was gonna send Carlene to Miss Lee, and I'm just like, fuck, I haven't fucking hit up this person in years, and I just sent her this stupid fucking thing, and holy fuck, fuck, because I'm just fucking trying to do everything on my cell phone, so it's holy shit, that's embarrassing, what the fuck, okay, oh, hey, how's it going? Blah, blah, blah. It's God fucking damn it, dude. It's God fucking damn it.
It's actually accurate for you to say that you quit that job because he...
Well, see, that's the thing. I can't say that I quit because I don't know.
The boss is crazy corrupt, with a list a mile long of infractions, and he... To try to protect his own self from repercussions of his own corruption, he's told you that you were fired, and then told you to come back in on Monday, and then you were like, fuck all that, so you quit. That's what happened.
Yeah. Well, since we're already talking about it in the podcast, and I kind of wanted to talk about it, but I'm trying to do some legal stuff behind it, so let's just try to not say names and stuff and whatever. So
yeah.
Let's just put it this way. Where you, the viewer, are working at an adult shop located in a very, well-known area of the city. And you do your job, you go in, you clean up the mess, and basically anything you could possibly think of to go wrong goes wrong and more. Just keep that in mind. And you're basic, fucking 4-hour worker, and you do your normal job if it's nothing, because a job is a job. So a new coworker is getting hired, you hear your management talking about this, and like a normal coworker, you talk to another coworker about what's going on, you go by your day. Next day you come into work, and the management's there really comes in angry and fires you for relating this information to your coworker. Now, I don't know if there is even a law or anything that, would allow you to be fired for that case or whatever, but that's what happened. And just a bunch of case of events of just, denying the incident and everything, so, it's just a lot of shit that happened in that place that I'm pretty sure nobody should deal with, but I don't know, yeah.
It would not be wished on anyone.
No, yeah. I mean, one thing is thinking about things, but it's like for porn actors, obviously, you watch a porn video, and it's obviously directed, shot, well lit. It's the place is fucking set up, the bed is done, the pictures are framed or whatever. It looks like a real house when it's not. Who the hell do you think cleans up all that cum or all that shit? Somebody cleans that up. They don't just leave it there. They're not just like, okay, there, we're done. All right, let's go, guys. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Nah, dude.
And then eventually the demon fairy comes and whisks it all away.
Yeah. Or they all eat it. That's crafty for the day.
Yeah.
No, somebody cleans that fucking shit up. So, yeah, and
See, people don't think about that.
yeah, and to receive a minimum wage and still know that it's going down
Below minimum wage.
Oh yeah, below minimum
Because
wage.
the boss is fucking crooked.
Yeah, so I mean, I don't know. Everybody has a shitty job. Nobody needs to like their job, but your job shouldn't be unlawfully.
Yeah.
That's
Absolutely.
That's the case, because I don't know, this country has certain laws that protect certain people, and I just think that if laws are broken and nobody says anything, that's not okay.
Hell, most of my jobs before I came out here were pretty much under the table kind of thing, but they were also for friends of the family and shit like that.
No, yeah, I mean, I have worked really bad jobs, for the ones that I could talk about, I used to work for agencies, and basically, what you do is you go to this fucking building, you take your social security, you take your birth certificate, and you take your ID. You go, you fill out all this fucking paperwork with your personal information, and blah, 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 blah. You don't even need a resume. That's how fucking stupid it is. That's how simple it is. You don't even need a resume. You go in, and as long as you're willing to work, they call you, they say, oh, well, they need 20 people at, Palmera Industries. And you're like, what the fuck? Okay, you show up, and it's like a shampoo factory. So you show up to a fucking shampoo factory, and your job is to, put the caps on top of the bottles in the production line, then run, box the thing up, put 20 inside each box, tape it up, flip it over, do it again, and then, you do that for 8 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And you get paid, $8 an hour minus the fucking cut that the agency gets. So you're basically getting paid $6 an hour most of these times. So I've done jobs like that are shitty, but then I've also done jobs really well. The first really well paying job that I ever got was at the Ronald McDonald House, and I started getting paid $9 an hour, and I was like, fuck yeah, dude, because when I started working, I was working for 99-cent store, getting paid $7 an hour. So for me, getting paid $9, I was like, fuck, that's fucking sick. So I mean, I have done hard labor as much as anybody else has done hard labor, and I'm willing to do hard labor, but it's just when it's unlawfully and when it's dangerous to my health, dangerous to my being, that's when it's a little, decisive.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, because there's people that actually, have shittier jobs, crime scene, cleaners. That shit must suck.
Yeah.
And showing up and somebody blew their brains, you're like, oh my god, I gotta clean this up. Let's scrape the brain matter off the ceiling. Or I've heard, when they find people that are burned, that's really bad.
Oh dear.
Or when they're decomposed and their body has basically kind of rotted into the bed. So the bed has fragments of flesh and entrails.
It's the flesh is fused with the bed.
Yeah, because it's decomposed, rotted.
It's human pizza.
Yeah. So I mean, if there's anybody out there that has a really shitty job, that has a really out there job, hit us up. Send an email, scaredspliffpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know about your shitty job. We'll talk about it, because there's a lot of shitty jobs out there. Last time I was on Craigslist looking for another job, and I saw grounds worker for the cemetery, and they were saying in the description that you should be okay and open to working with cremating bodies. So you don't have to have this type of special degree to cremate bodies or to put the dead bodies into the to the.
You just have to say yes.
Yeah, you just have to be willing to do it. Which I mean, that some people might be like, "Whoa, dude!" But I find that fascinating. The only reason why I didn't apply is because I don't have a car. Otherwise, I'd be doing it, because I'm totally fine with doing landscaping at a cemetery and doing that corpse thing. because I don't find it bad at all. I mean, like I cleaned cum and picked up shit for like the past year and a half, so that's perfectly fine. So if any of our listeners has any really shitty jobs or has had any shitty jobs, let us know. You could be anonymous too. We don't have to say like, oh, Tony from Crescent City told us that he was a hitman. No, like, or like there's Cindy from like Santa Rosa told us how much dick she sucked. I mean that's interesting because if we're gonna talk about those topics just to like make people comfortable, let's talk about Craigslist girls. Craigslist girls are normal individuals that like to fuck and get paid for it. Now now there's a difference between prostitution and this. Okay? There's a huge fucking difference. It's the same as like you going to the store and to CVS and buying aspirins because you have a headache. It's that simple. Instead of that, now we have the app where you could literally be on your house and order somebody to go get that shit for you, and they come to your doorstep and you just pay them through PayPal and you get your groceries, so you get your medicine. Same thing with a Craigslist girl. You go online or Backpage or whatever, and you do that. Now, don't act like if this is so fucking big and so far out, or like, oh my god, like let's shut this place down because it's fucking stupid. People need to make money some way. They're not harming anybody, they're not hurting anybody, and obviously people are fucking smart enough to be like, you know what, like this is good, this is bad, this is gross, this is okay, like I don't know, like so without even explaining it, what is your guys' take on Craigslist girl? Just by hearing that name, just that title, Craigslist girl.
Points of view, if any. Not to dump the podcast in your lap, but points of view, if any.
If it was just called that?
Yeah, just what's your thoughts? What are your thoughts when you hear that? Craigslist girl.
I mean, it doesn't necessarily go anywhere in particular as far as, like, if it leads towards, like, oh, that sounds very sexual, or, oh, that sounds very promiscuous, or whatever, if that's what you mean.
Okay, alright. So
like, it doesn't make me instantly think out loud, like, oh, this is going to be, like, risque and shit like that. Like, it doesn't, like, immediately tell me, at least not me, but,
yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, like, obviously we've seen that in Japan they have this kind of, like, restaurant, but for butts. And you get to go and there's a picture of the girl, and then there's a butt next to it. So you get to, guys and girls get to all, get to go into the butt cafe and munch on butt. So
eat a
butt.
human butt?
Not eat like like a cannibal, but like
nibble on a butt in
nibble.
A fetishy way.
Yeah.
Of a live person.
Yeah. So then the idea of what I'm saying is the same thing, but instead of doing that, you get to have sex with them. What do you guys think of that? So it's like a restaurant, and you got a menu, and in the menu there's pictures of girls, both naked and not naked, and it just says, name, the basic information, name, age, height, weight, whatever.
So this is a more kind of empowered form of prostitution, I think. Like, tell me if I'm wrong about that.
I guess you could say prostitution because obviously the restaurant is owned by someone. But what if the restaurant was not owned by someone per se, but it was owned individually by every single one of those girls in that menu?
Hey everybody, this is Cecil Queef telling y'all to check out YouTube channel Phobophobia Productions. They got movies, short filmers, webisodes, videos, all for fee, horror, comedy, they scratch your itch, spelled with a PH. That's YouTube channel Phobophobia Productions. Check it.
Regardless of whether a pimp is involved, a prostitute is someone who has sex for money. A Craigslist girl has sex for money, but the difference is she's doing it because she likes to do the fucking, and she kind of gets to pick and choose, like, I'll fuck you, I won't fuck you, and like that. She doesn't just have to meet a quota. She doesn't have to fuck everyone who wants to fuck her for money.
So then you're saying that a prostitute doesn't get to pick?
I wouldn't know. I thought a prostitute just like you give them money and then they fuck you and they do it because it's their job. It's how they're making money. But a Craigslist girl is doing it because the money is kind of a bone. They're sort of like a hobbyist or like a from how you've described Craigslist girls to me and how that racket works. They figure the person who decides to be a Craigslist girl figures, well, I like fucking and I like getting paid, so why not do both? But she can say no if she wants to, right?
Yeah.
A prostitute.
A
prostitute is a prostitute because they don't have any other. And not everyone's a prostitute for the same reasons, and not all arrangements are the same.
Yeah.
And they have different levels of autonomy, and I would imagine, like I don't know, like anything.
One.
But a prostitute is like,
yeah.
I think my outsider stereotypical perception of what a prostitute is someone who has no other options for survival, for revenue for survival. And so they go, I'm going to give my genitals for money. And that's what I'm going to do because I need the money and I have no other way to get it.
Well, what if they don't need the money? Gil, are you listening to all this stuff?
Yeah.
Okay. So what if they
don't need
the
it,
money?
then it's just dating.
It's
kind of then it just becomes very close to
well,
dating.
then what's the difference? Then what would you say the difference between dating and casual sex is then? Because
nowadays there's no difference.
Because then, like, if the person gets to decide, and the person doesn't really need the money, and the person is not really in a relationship with them, but the person doesn't really know that person other than a picture or a height or a weight or a sex, like not a sex or an ethnicity, like what? Well, how would you explain that then? Because that's not prostitution then, but it's not dating. But it's not casual sex because you're obviously giving money.
Dating apps and dating sites give stats of people and say, this is Cynthia, she lives in Reseda, she's 31, she has 9 hamsters,
but you don't pay the girl that you date on Tinder. You know, you pay the dinner maybe, or you pay for
you pay for the dinner and the movie. Is
Tinder for free?
You pay for the dinner and the movie and the flowers and the bleep blop bleep, and you are paying for sex.
Okay,
that is how society.
So basically,
it's a very jaded thing to say out loud, but that's what courtship is, and that's what sex is. So basically, it all works that way.
So basically, a Craigslist girl would be a Tinder date without the actual date, just straight to the fuck.
Wait, what?
Yeah, because if a Tinder date, you're not paying.
I'm not disagreeing. I'm not trying to understand the question.
Are you following me with this?
Yeah.
It's like, if a Tinder date, you obviously take a girl out on a date, and you have to buy the movie ticket, the popcorn, the dinner and all that stuff, and eventually you may or you may not have sex.
Oh, your thing is, but a Craigslist girl, you might not have sex either. It sounds like.
Well, that's up to you though.
Up to you meaning you just. Let's say the Craigslist girl. You hang out at you order them or whatever. I don't know if that's that feels misogynistic, but this whole thing just sounds misogynistic anyway. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, like it's.
I don't know who's empowered, who's a victim. I don't fucking know.
Like,
but
if anybody while you guys are hearing this has any thoughts, be free. Feel free to email us at scaredspliffpodcast@gmail.com.
But just like you told me that a Craigslist girl gets to decide beforehand. It kind of like like a lawyer or a chiropractor says, yes, I will take on your case or take on your dick or whatever. I mean, it's kind of similar in that way where they kind of choose the client.
I guess
like
it could
that.
be like
or a dominatrix kind of chooses people and kind of vets people and kind of feels people out and goes, okay, I'm good with you, I'm not good with you.
But you see, even with a dominatrix is different because dominatrix don't really have to have any sex. The pleasure.
Yes. There's a difference there, but that's not what I'm talking about.
That's what
I'm specifically talking about the aspect of the worker having the choice, the freedom, the autonomy, the liberty to decide to say yes or no to a client or to a potential client.
Yeah.
And so therefore, if a Craigslist girl has that level of say-so and that level of freedom, if a Craigslist girl is hanging out with a John, for lack of another word, with a customer guy person, then if she can decide whether she comes over there to WeHo to hang with Seth in the first place, she could also potentially decide to not have sex once she's there and they're hanging out, right?
Yeah, but you still have to pay because, I mean, like, when I was writing this, you know, like, that doesn't mean that I've done it before or anything.
This sounds like lap dance takeout.
See, like, I wouldn't even know because I personally have never even gone to a fucking strip club, so I wouldn't even know how that even works.
No, but my point is, like, a gentleman's club is you go there and you get drunk and women dance on you as long as you keep giving them money. And if you don't give them money, they dance on other people who are giving them money. A Craigslist girl just makes the drive over. That's kind of the difference. I'm oversimplifying this.
Yeah.
And I'm making it like too vague of a criteria in order to make the comparison. But the Craigslist girl, when she's in the middle of the hangout, could decide that she's not going to have sex,
so. Yeah,
right?
I'd say so, yeah.
Like it seems those are the parameters.
Yeah, because if like
I know you don't know from experience.
Yeah, because if she doesn't have a pimp, because like some of these signs, like some of these say like independent, like they make it say like it's like right there, because like I mean I know as far as like going to the site and looking at these things, because I'm curious about it and I want to know, I'm a man, I'm not gonna fucking deny, like my man instincts, and I'm not gonna fucking like doesn't mean that I'm disrespecting any woman in whatsoever, like, the same as people have other things or whatever, but this is not about that. But like some of these say independent, so if they're alone, it's basically like hooking up with a normal girl, like inviting a friend over and just like eventually hanging out or eventually having sex.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, yeah, you have to pay.
Set up before you even get together. So there has to be some type of contract in place. So it depends on what exactly is stated in the contract, would be my guess.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so maybe like it's a...
the clause stipulates you have to look exactly like the picture that you showed the Craigslist girl, or there will not be fucking, or there might not be fucking.
Yeah.
Yeah. For example.
Yeah.
Like a clause like that.
I mean, maybe we'll get the balls to call one of these Craigslist girls and ask her all these questions and see like for that perspective, because that would be really interesting. I would want to like.
That sounds extremely doable to just do an on the phone interview.
Well, that's if they're willing.
Yeah.
So,
like anything else.
So if there's any Craigslist girl listening to this, hit us up, scaredspliffpodcast@gmail.com. Or if you want to be a Craigslist girl or thinking about being a Craigslist girl or anything like that, let us know. We want to hear from you.
Oh yeah, and like why you would want to be one, what your point of view is about what's appealing about it for you.
Yeah, because obviously it's not a porn star. You're not getting filmed. You're not gonna fucking have DVDs of your shit out in a porn store unless like that's your thing and you want to like upload your homemade shit to Pornhub, because there's there's a lot of people that upload their amateur porn on Pornhub.
It really just is like dating apps. It really is. Like there's
but it's guaranteed sex.
Craigslist girls guaranteed sex?
I'd say so.
I mean it's more like, oh, I see what you're saying, because dating is like you don't know.
Yeah.
You might. No, but here's the thing: is like nowadays, I don't know anything about any of this because I don't do either of these things.
This is all speculation.
I don't do either of these things. But the gossip on the street is that dating with dating apps is like it's become about, hey, I wanna lock my genitals with corresponding genitals. I'm gonna push a button, and then that's gonna happen, and then we're gonna go peace, and then that's it.
Yeah, see, I mean, like, I don't know, dude. Like, dating has always been like, I'm the type of guy that dating is fucking. I'm clueless to that shit, dude. Like, I don't even know how the fuck I got with the fucking person that I'm with right now. You know, like, I don't know. You know, it was like a fucking, like, if just somebody went bloop there.
That's a very common. A lot of people.
Yes.
A lot of people express that. A lot of people express that same feeling of like, I don't know how I am with who I'm with.
No, but I
a
mean,
lot of people. That's a very normal
no,
thing.
but there's a
feel.
difference, though. You know, I remember growing up and being a, I remember growing up. Like, no, but like, I remember being in middle school and my friends would like be like, they'd be fucking pimping, dude. Like, they'd have a bunch of chicks, you know. And I remember like them telling me like, yeah, dude, like I fucked this chick and this other chick, and like, it's like, damn, dude, like how are you doing this when you look like a fucking duck? Or you look like, you know, like, or you look like Doug's penis or some shit like that, you know, like, I don't know, like...
Doug's penis?
Yeah.
From the cartoon?
Yeah, the cartoon Doug. Yeah. But I mean, like...
Look like Doug's penis.
Yeah, I mean, just... I wasn't the prettiest or the most good-looking teenager. I was bad, had pimples, you know, like, I had man boobies. I still have man boobies right now, you know, man boob power. What's up, guys? You know, but, like, I don't know, like, it was... Dating was always hard. What about you, Gil? Like, was dating hard for you growing up?
For me?
Yes.
Dating for me has just always, I guess, kind of been hard, at least as far as the physical concept of it. Like, I myself suffer from my own problems with intimacy and what have you, so it's kind of like, I've just, like, for some reason, I always sort of, like, gravitated towards meeting people, like, through other forms of getting to know them as a person instead of just hooking up like they have nowadays on Tinder and stuff. Like, back when you could go on Omegle or, you know, any one of those kind of, like, chat with a random stranger kind of things and, like, actually get to know a random human being out there in the world and actually possibly, you know, connect with them over the internet.
Yeah.
And so, like, I got very used to, like, just meeting people on online games and stuff that I would play and things like that for a while there.
What was your username? What was your typical username?
The typical username?
Yeah, because I mean, obviously, all these chat rooms, you had to have like a really gnarly username, you know, like cool fuck 69 or such like that. I don't know.
Actually, not necessarily. Like, I mean, they all had very dissimilar names depending on the personality and stuff like that. Like, what was mine? Same as always done. Always. Oh, what was mine?
Yeah, what was your screen name? Yeah, what was your screen name?
Mine has been and always will be the name of the main character in the book that I finished and started, actually. Like, I just started writing it right as I was getting into high school, or right before high school. I started writing it literally, like, a year and a half before I went to high school, and then I finished writing a book right in my, like, sophomore year, or no, my senior year then. Yeah, so I was right the first time. Literally right as I was finishing, you know, my last year in high school, I finished writing this book. I call it Omega Monsters. I'm planning on editing it up and hopefully finding somebody or some way of getting it published. But the main character's name is Odo Akuji, and I have basically just use that as my screen name for everything and anything.
Damn. So like I've always found it interesting when like people really relate and connect with anime, Japan type of, you know, like things. I don't know, like I've never really been cool to give myself like a really awesome ninja name, you know. But like I don't know, like how do you even get that? How do you even like come up with like a ninja name, you know? Because that sounds fucking sick.
It was helped along by a few of my friends, and whether they want their names to be disclosed or not, I'm sorry, but I don't give a fuck, you know?
Hey everybody, this is Cecil Queef telling y'all to check out YouTube channel Phobophobia Productions. They got movies, short filmers, webisodes, videos, all for fee, horror, comedy, they scratch your itch, spelled with a PH. That's YouTube channel, Phobophobia Productions. Check it.